conversation, which is the church and the role of the Catholic Church in particular. I think recently we've had this flurry of outbursts from prelates across Cameroon, from Yagua down to Ngandere, Monsignor Cleda, and all the rest, viciously calling for the president of Cameroon not to enter the re-election bid. But personally, I take a lot of exception with the outbursts at the church, because the church has been in bed with the regime in Yaoundé for the past 43 years. I think what they have tried to do now is kind of a window dressing. They preach virtue and practice vice. If you look at the message that came out from the annual seminar in Boya, if you look at the paper, the letterhead, and that goes to you pointing about the Anglophone province, the letterhead of the message is in French. This is a document that was done in Boya, and this document was signed by Anglophone prelates. The signature page is in French. Even the Mr. President you have there, Le Président. And you begin to ask why Anglophones feel that they don't have a place in that country. If the bishops holding their annual seminar in an Anglophone regional capital could put out a document that insults even the call for bilingualism in that country, it can show you how deep the cancer has spread in the body politic of that country. So a lot of the people who are celebrating what the bishops came out and said about the regime, for me, I think what they were trying to do was give theoretical prestige to the fact that they have been, or hide the fact that they have been in bed with the government in Yaoundé. The bishop cannot hold an annual conference in Boya and do a passing statement. The last paragraph, almost the last paragraph, that's when they mention the Anglophone crisis. And they call it a crisis. At a certain point, they say war. At another point, they said violence. What exactly is the situation in the English-speaking provinces? Is it a war? Who declared the war? They said the person who declared the war based on that message are the individuals who don't want the war to end. And you have them referencing Mark 6, verse 25, verse 50, that do not be afraid. Take courage, do not be afraid. But it really smacks of exceptional deception for them to say that they were not afraid to call the person who declared war on the two English provinces. Are they telling us that Biya who declared this war is still the one that is pursuing this war? That they get to Boya, if they were really serious about healing that country, they could not call for the unconditional release of the Anglophone prisoners in the dungeons of La République du Cameroon to begin the healing process in that country. So to me, when I see them talk about the people are suffering from taxes, high taxes, difficult life conditions, I mean, the Catholic Church itself has the most expensive schools in Cameroon. If you are complaining that the people are already being stifled by the imposition of additional taxes, could you not in the same vein reduce some of the fees in some of these colleges? If you look at the visit of the Minister of Finance, I think it was that yesterday or today in Boya, and you look at his courtesy visit to the Bishop of Boya, is a Michael Bibi. In his living room, the furniture that is in his living room, I think comes from Turkey, worth thousands of dollars. And these are the same people who are telling Cameroonians that there are people within the regime that are living in affluence. How do you rationalize that? If you remove the prelates or jumpsuit or whatever they're wearing and replace them with suits with the people in Yaoundé, you would see that is a mirror image of what is happening in that country. So I agree that there needs to be a revolution in that country. The system needs to be changed. So I'm going to go to you directly, Pastor Ejaga, for you as a man of God to really try to make sense to us. How did the religious institutions became hostages to the regime in Yaoundé? Because it seems like everybody is trying to curry favor with the regime for the perks that they are benefiting, the subsidies and all of that. So when they come in to talk, it looks like they are being stifled from actually addressing the root causes of this problem. They live in these communities. They are the people who give communion on every Sunday to these people that they are calling that they are plunging the resources of the country. How do you reconcile that? How do you give somebody communion on a Sunday and then on Monday you are telling people on Mondo TV that these are the people who are corrupt, who have plundered the resources of this country? So I think that the church has to really look itself in the mirror to sincerely, if they are going to be in a position to engage in the reconciliation of that country and resolve the problems in that country, I think the first thing that they could have done once they got to Buea was to call for the immediate release of the prisoners. They have not done that since the war started. And they have the audacity to tell people that the war is being contained and you forget about the people in jail. And they have that temerity to also tell people that, listen, the people should sit on the table and for dialogue. How many of these dialogues have gone out done by some of them? How many times have some of them come here in the diaspora and met with some of these activists? And nothing has been done. So to me, I think they should be sincere. Pastor Jaja, over to you. After that, I would ask Eric, Kenneth, and then Hubert to give their final thoughts.
Okay, thank you for, what you explained. You painted an eloquent picture of the duplicity that may very much be attributed to the church.